are going to be presenting. So this is a free teepee workshop that we're doing in honor of National Indigenous History Month, which is the whole month of June, and the National Indigenous Peoples Day is on June 21st, so that's coming up soon. So this is one of the things we're doing to celebrate and recognize those events. So if you guys have questions during the workshop about how to do the craft or about teepees that you want to ask the presenters, you can feel free to use the chat, and I will be able to bring the question to the attention of the presenters or read it out loud, and then they can answer your question. All right? So I think then we are ready to get started, and we'll switch it over to them.
Welcome to the St. James Historical Museum. My name is Emily McIver, and I am here with my grandmother, Barbara Nebenek. We are here to demonstrate how to construct a miniature teepee.
Thank you, Yvette. I'd like to welcome you to Treaty 1 territory, the territory of my ancestors, the Anishinaabe people, the Cree, the Inuit, and the homeland of the Métis, and of course the settlers. This is how we always acknowledge the territory. That is the proper protocol. And I'd like to I'm going to start talking about what materials you should have in front of you. When you have, what you should have in front of you are the sticks, the skewers, and the floor plan, and your canvas. One of the things you can do this if you want, or if you want to have it a plain one, you can have just a plain teepee, and it will look like this, no coloring on it. Or you could be creative and color it in different things, designs on there, and
There's this one.
that's one of them. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your teepee, your poles, and you're going to put your glue gun on. And there are very specific spots on this flooring. You will notice that there is a gap on one side, and that is going to be your doorway eventually. So what we're going to do here is you're going to take that glue gun, and you're going to take one skewer at a time, and you're going to put a little dab of glue onto that circle here, and then you're going to put that one stick on that side, and you're going to hold it until it gets dry. It just takes seconds. And because what you're going to do with all of them is they're going to be together like that, and this is what you're going to be creating, is this. Okay, so Emily is going to start that. So at this time you can start your glue guns, and be very careful with them. And usually if we work with children, we always have adults that will do that for the children. And
It's not hot enough.
okay, so it has to be hot enough so that it'll stay like this. And in today's workshop, all the kits were pre-made because the preparation part takes a long time to be able to cut this out and cut these sticks and to be able to find the canvas, and it's very time consuming to do that. So some people have decorated their names on there, or you could use, like this one has a feather on there, and then they've painted the tip of that. We're not using this hanger. Usually at Christmas time, our tree has over 100 teepees on it, and but this is out of season right now. You can't buy these anywhere. So, but you know, you can put them anywhere you want. After you make your teepee, you can put it in a display case, put it in your room, by your dresser, anywhere. And, but these came from our collection of our Christmas decoration on our tree. And so they're glued on. But that's something you can do later on if you want. And it depends on how you're going to store your teepee. So as Emily's gluing that, so is everybody on track with that? Has everybody got their teepee, their sticks aligned? And there's no right way or wrong way to do it. You just put the glue onto those circles, and then you take your skewers, and then you just put it inside where those holes are.
And make sure that it's secure.
Yeah. So then, what you're gonna do next, and we're not gonna rush you or anything, you can, there is a right way of setting this up. This is our template that we have, and we just trace that out. So the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna put your rubber bands on there. Just the way Emily is demonstrating it. It's easier to move around, to make adjustments, and so I hope everybody's keeping up with this. I know we're going fast, but it's not really that fast. One more. Yeah. So has everybody got their rubber bands on already? So the next thing you're going to do,
This is what it looks like.
yeah. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your canvas. There's no right way, wrong way. It's all the same. What you're going to do is, this is the proper way to color it, and this is because what you're eventually going to do is, when you do your artwork, just like Emily did on this side, she practiced. What you're going to do with that is, you're going to color it, like for instance here, this is the way it's going to be joined like this, okay? And you're just going to be putting it over this part like this, but let's worry about the artwork first. So the artwork, you should do it like this. Put it like this. Don't put it like this, otherwise, well, it's still being okay, but this is the right way. This is the top part, and this is the bottom part. So I'll give you about 5-10 minutes if you want to put something on there, or to put your names on there, or whatever you want, and Emily is going to be making another one. And there's no right way to do things. Whichever you want, you could put little stars or little hearts, anything you can use. And we use neon markers, and it works. It shows up really well. Some of these other ones we didn't really, I think this one we just use a pen and a pencil. I will tell you something about this after you do your teepee, and it's always important to listen when you're given instructions. And I don't know who made this one or how it got to be made, and but I will tell you a little story about this one after. I talk about the circle here, which is the floor. I talk about the opening, and that's where you're going to align your doorway with. The hardest part of making this teepee, I think, is cutting out the stencil. That's the hard part. And but we've done this many times. We've done 8-inch teepees, we've done 10-inch teepees at different places, and it always comes out really nice. I think Emily was probably about 6 years old or 7 years old when she did her first one, and at her school. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. We'll do the best we can to answer your question.
So right now everyone's just getting out their markers.
Okay.
So I wonder if we could hold up some of the decorations and zoom in on them so that we can see some of the examples while
Okay.
we're starting to get started on the decoration.
This one has a feather that just wraps all the way around. And we have it in different color variations. And then this one is like a pattern, pattern work. So this one I did earlier, another pattern. And then this is the one right now that I'm going to use in this demonstration. And it'll look like this when it's on the teepee.
So we'll give you a few more minutes to continue with your artwork, and I'll tell you a little story. We did this workshop at the University of Manitoba probably about 7 years ago with children and their mothers, and my friend Robin and her son made a teepee together, and but he mostly made it himself, and he was probably about 6. He was so proud of that. Well, today her son is 17 and he still has that little teepee. This is meant to be a fun activity. It's meant to be creative, and we've done a number of different workshops. This is just one of them. We also do drumming workshops where we teach children about drumming and singing. We just do a lullaby with them, and we do storytelling as well. And we've been to this museum on several occasions, and to share our knowledge, our cultural knowledge, traditional knowledge. And so I'm always honored that we could come here and do this and be a part of this. And so when things are starting to open up, there's going to be other things coming up here. Is everybody almost ready with the next steps?
Do they have this ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
So take your glue gun.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put glue right here so that when I fold it over, it can just
Hide it.
go right, hide it. And be careful of the hot glue. Okay, next, I'm going to put glue under the doorway. So it should look like this.
And these are the flaps.
Yeah, and these are the flaps. So now I'm gonna take the part that we assembled earlier and align it with the door. Make sure that the door is aligned. I marked where the door is on the platform.
You know, on teepees, they come in various sizes. The one we usually have at our house, we put in our backyard, it's an 18-footer, it's 18 feet across. And they come in various sizes. Okay, got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now you're gonna take that, turn it upside down.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna just put a little bit of glue on that side and different spots.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to keep it in place.
Yeah, just put a little bit of glue. You don't have to do it all the way around. You can just put it in certain spots and then just push it together like this, and it'll stay on there. And just so you know, these are probably about 3 years old. These little teepees were made 3 years ago. So they do stick, they do work. On a bigger teepee, like an 18-foot teepee, the reason why you have these flaps like this is when you have a fire inside, the hot air rises and the smoke comes out of here. And people always say to us, does it get smoky in here? And we say no, because the air is sucked up on top. That's where it goes. And these teepees get very warm inside.
Yep. All right. So, can you guess how many poles a teepee would have traditionally? Yeah, facts about teepees now. Traditionally, teepees weren't really that tall, and poles on the average are 25 to 35 feet tall. There are certain ways that a teepee is folded and stored just to preserve it. And if poles are kept properly, they can last up to 15 to 20 years. The doorway should face the east, and it welcomes the rising sun in the morning, bringing warmth. Teepee poles are stored in a special way after laying flat and raised from the ground, or they are set up leaning on another tree. So, to answer the question from earlier, there are 13 poles on a teepee.
11 inside and 2 outside.
Yeah, 11 on the inside and 2 on the outside to hold the flaps in place.
And if the wind were to change, smoke would be confined in the teepee. But when you have those flaps, let's say you have a flap like this. When Emily talks about the flaps, they're held open like this. So if it were to be really windy, somebody would go outside and close the one flap, and then the smoke would go out this way, or vice versa, or the other way. So this is a very simple craft to make. You can make it in different sizes, and you can be creative with your artwork, and that's something that people take pride in what they want to create. And here we just have very plain ones. These are Christmas lights that go on our tree, and some of these are just decorations that go on our tree. And sometimes if we have visitors that come from different parts of the world, we always like to gift them with something like this. And so, does anybody have any questions?